Welcome, welcome. You listen to 360 Info. I'm your host, Antonio. What you do for yourself depends on what you think of yourself. And what you think of yourself depends on what you know of yourself. And what you know of yourself depends on what you've been told of yourself. Got a great show for you today. We got some sunny skies. It's been pretty good. I did hear somewhat towards next week sometime in the evening. It's going to dip down a little bit, but guess what? 59 ain't that bad. We'll take it, so it's, this is Cleveland. Hang in there, guys. We haven't broken all the way through yet. But we got a great show for you. We got Sister Sophie on the line, sister with a lot of energy and inspiration. She's going to be telling us about what's coming up to this Juneteenth and brother, Eroc Beatz as well. And then the second half of the show, I got my boy, our resident cosmetologist, brother Mocksheriel. He's going to talk about this cosmic situation and why it is important to us to be paying attention to what's going on up in the cosmos. At the remote studio, I got Brother Vince holding it down. What's going on, Brother V?
Hey man, I unplugged my heater, my space heater, a couple days ago. Now you telling me I'm going to have to plug it back in. Halfway through June or at the end of the month, it's crazy. But life on the North Coast, what could you say? Just want to remind the listeners out there that we actually have a sales staff, and that sales staff is headed by Brother Stephen E. Boyd, and he has acquired some sponsors for us, but we don't want you to miss out on your opportunity to become a sponsor of 360 Info Network. So reach out to him, 216-526-1297. That's 216-526-1297, and you can join the 360 Info Network team. Sophii.Appsolutelii and Eroc Beatz, two of my favorite young folks who you said it, they got a lot of energy, and this coming week they're going to be doing a lot of stuff, and they roped me into it, but I'm complying willingly. So welcome to 360 Info Network, Sophii.Appsolutelii and Eroc Beatz. Brother Lynn?
Yes, go on. Hey, it's good to see the energy that is, cold or just going through this whole month of June, especially we've been trying to push it for a long time now. So I'm going to give former president a little bit of juice in reference to that. He said, I made Juneteenth popular because he was doing something derogatory on the same day as Juneteenth, and it made people pay attention. So I'm going to give him a little bit of that. But the sister has been jumped on Juneteenth, and she put some good programs together leading up to Juneteenth. And Sister Sophie and Brother Eroc Beatz, y'all fill us in on what's going on and what our listening audience can look forward to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, appreciate y'all so much, and man, this Juneteenth is it's gonna be a lot, man. We got healing through our history as the theme, and like I said, like y'all said, it's gonna be a week-long celebration, and man,
our tagline with that is pretty much to experience true freedom. We must heal. Come, bring your family, wear your favorite red, black, and green. We'll just run down the list real quick of the things that we got going on here. We have Monday, June 14th, Healing Through Our Stories. Basically, it's a bonfire, a salute to the elders, storytelling, where they'll be able to just share their stories regarding healing, freedom, anything that they would like to talk about, as well as elder vendors. So we just pretty much saluting the elders. That's going to be at Africa House. From 5 o'clock is when the doors open until 8 o'clock. So that'll be at the Africa House.
And on Tuesday, June 15th, we got Healing Through Our Music. We're going to be doing a rhythm and release, a creative jam session. And that's going to be calling all the musical artists and vocalists. And it's going to be hosted by yours truly, Eroc Beatz. So come out, share your gifts. It's going to be a cipher-like setting, and we're going to start at 6 and promptly at 9, and that's going to be at the Imagination Multipod, and that's 1916 Lee Road, 1916 Lee Road.
Okay, and on Wednesday, June 16th, Healing Through Transparency, that's the Bridging the Generational Gap discussion. MC by Mr. Vince. Thank you. That was one of the ones we roped you in on.
Yeah.
But there we're going to be talking about the major disconnection between the youth and the elders and all those in between. Basically, we just need to keep it all the way real with each other so that we can heal. We're going to have various vendors, myself as well, Sophii.Appsolutelii, as well as Sierra Grant from Uplift. We're going to be helping to facilitate that. That is going to be at the African American Museum at 1765 Crawford Road. Again, African American Museum, 1765 Crawford Road.
And on Thursday, June the 17th, is going to be Healing Through Our Words. And that's going to be our poetry and trivia night. That's going to be hosted by Dana Grant, who's also with Uplift, and a good brother of ours, Alien Eye Player. And, of course, we have Brother Vince, Baba Vince, once again, doing this thing with the poetry. And another a good elder is Brother Poet. And we have two features that's doing poetry, Ephraim Nehemiah and Young Black and Gifted. Now, we have them on Thursday, but they'll be popping up actually all throughout the week, so look out for them as well. Great poets. As far as the time, it's going to be 5 at the door, and the poetry starts from 6 to 8. And that's going to be at the Umbar Cafe. That's 12635 Larchmere Boulevard, 12635 Larchmere Boulevard.
Okay, then we have Friday, Healing Through Our Creativity. That is an Acoma art show sponsored by Uplift Inc. And shout out to Uplift Inc. They're partnering with us, our network, The Circle, to put this event on. Shout out to you again, Vince. It's going to be held at Larchmere Art at 12726 Larchmere Boulevard, 12726 Larchmere Boulevard, and that is from 7 to 9. And shout out to #Virgo, a really dope jazz band that will be featured that night.
And on Saturday, June 19th, we're going to do Healing Through Support. Now, we won't personally be doing anything on this day, but we're going to be joining many other organizations who will be doing Juneteenth that day, and we'll try to provide shuttles and transportation for those who want to participate. And so, it's going to be an extravaganza that day.
It's an event going to be at the museum as well. That just let people know.
Yes. Oh, we got you on the list. We're going to be hitting y'all up.
Okay.
And then lastly, we got Sunday, June 20th, Healing Through Celebration. It's our close-out Juneteenth celebration. It's a brand called Rhythm and Release, which you also heard with the Creative Jam session. But this is the Freedom Dance Party edition with featuring Afro beats, reggae, and your favorite barbecue classics. Sound by DJ Hurricane G. It's also basically vendors will be there, dance, eat, play. Happy Father's Day to all of the dads and the mentors. Bring your own chair or blanket. The time is from 2 to 6. Food available for purchase. And it's going to be at the African American Cultural Garden.
And if the weather doesn't permit, it'll be at the African American Museum that day. So, it's going to be a great time. Yeah,
so just reach out to us in order to get any further details. You can text or call the number, area code 347-731-0061. Again, 347-731-0061. Or just holler at us on Instagram, Sophii.Appsolutelii and Eroc Beatz.
All right. Sounds real good. And it's great hearing, all the activities that are taking place in June, because that was my vision, to really have June really busting all over, for the African American community. I want us to look at June and be anticipating June to come in, and commerce is taking place, education is taking place, and we just filling up the city with things that we need to do, to spread this positivity throughout the community. So it's a beautiful thing. And just a footnote right now, we're looking at next year, guys, coming back with the whole month of Sankofa, where we incorporate what Sister Sophie is doing and others, and make this June situation really, really, really good. So I'm looking forward to teaming up with any and everybody who see this vision and see the necessity of doing something like this. So big ups,
Yeah, most definitely.
Time for break.
Yes.
Okay, we're at 11:15 right here on AM 1490 WERE 360 Info Network. Presently, our guests are Sophii.Appsolutelii and Eroc Beatz, and they've just outlined a plethora of activities that will take place next week. Juneteenth is going to be celebrated all week long, thanks to them. We're going to welcome them back for a few moments when we return from the break. You're listening to 360 Info Network on AM 1490 WERE. We're back, 360 Info Network, with yours truly, Vince Robinson and Hamtonio, and our guests right now are Eroc Beatz and Sophii.Appsolutelii, two of the most active young folks in Cleveland, Ohio today. They've just outlined a number of activities that will be taking place in the coming week for Juneteenth. So we would like to get some philosophy from them. You know, why are you all doing all of this for Cleveland?
You know, I think the biggest thing is connection has been very much pushed as something to not really do at this point in time because of everything going on. But we very much feel like connection is still very much healing. And so just learning about our history helps us to unlock things within ourselves, within our DNA, to really be able to hone in on the power that we have. So it's just very important to connect.
Yeah, and I think that bridging the gap between the generations is really what, is the main premise. So that's why Wednesday actually is really important if people to come through to that discussion, because that was, pretty much like the premise of the entire week, of bridging the gap between the youth and the elders, and so that we can rebuild this community and rebuild this village.
Yeah, and when you think about the theme of Juneteenth, freedom stands out there. Mm-hmm. But it's like when you think about that, everybody's heard that story about that caged animal that was caged for so long, but then as soon as they were, the bond was cut, they still acted in certain behavior and habits. So, healing is so necessary for true freedom. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that that illustrates some of our problem right there. We come, the Stockholm syndrome kicks in. We come complacent, and we, get along to go along, and we carve out our little area and territory. But the territory is vast, and we can, capture much more. But we still caged, in so many words.
Yep, exactly, exactly, and so. We definitely just feel like connecting with elders is very important, but we can learn from each other, You can learn things from an infant,
Right.
So, it very much is important to share our stories and our experiences. So, yeah, and we also host other events monthly, whether it's sister circles, brother circles, light warrior meetups. That just go into emotional, mental healing, and also talking about like esoteric teachings and things. So holler at us if you want that information too.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out too that what you all are doing is a model for what this week and what this month should be looked at and how it should be looked at. And I think what Brother Hamtonio has done is he has initiated the importance of acknowledging history. Years ago, we were doing parades and festivals and whatnot downtown, and the whole idea was that we should be looking at our history outside of Black History Month. And when you talk about Sankofa, it's all about history, it's about present, and it's about future. So I see this as an extension of that idea, and you all have taken it to another level in a certain way, but I just think that it's something that needs to be expanded and get greater involvement from the greater African American community, and not just African Americans, but also Africans from the continent, those who were born there and have migrated here to the United States on their own volition. So I commend you for doing this, and I'm hopeful that your vision for this will expand and the collaboration between generations, such as Sophii.Appsolutelii and Hamptonio, allows this to grow and to blossom into what it can be.
That's great too. What kind of responses have you guys been? It's sometimes like people come into different level of consciousness at different times and different points of their life. Sometimes you can talk to people forever and they don't get it until they get it. You know what I mean? And we have to understand all you know is all you know, but. It could that journey, like my mother used to say, the road to heaven is narrow and few travel, but the road to hell is wide and open and everybody going that way. So to tend to swim upstream, doing all this chaos around us and social media and gang activity and shooting and this, that, and other, and you start talking about consciousness. Sometimes you feel like you're on this road by yourself, and it can be an uphill battle. What kind of response are you getting maybe from the young folks? I'm interested to see where they at right now.
Well, one of the first things I thought about was you said, like, it's you kind of feel like that you're alone, but for real, you're really not. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more people who may be actually on this wave more than we think, and sometimes we don't get to see those people very often. We're surrounded by people who may be unconscious, surrounded by our families, and we don't get too many chances to meet people who are on that level. And we've been, I would say, pretty fortunate to, connect with so many people who share the same wave as we do. And so I think it's important to showcase that more so than not, and I think there needs to be a balance, not just with media, but just with arts and music. There needs to be a balance of consciousness, being pushed, righteousness being pushed, Christ consciousness being pushed to a level where it's being seen to the point where it has a snowball effect, where more and more people start to gravitate. You start to get those loners who are surrounded by unconscious, but just simply think otherwise, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'll just chime in and just say that I think that's the biggest reason why these types of events are so important. We do them so consistently because it's just such a relief to just have people around you that think similarly, Yeah. So it's not anything, just being able to inhale and exhale and just feel like, wow, I'm understood. Like, that is healing. Because you'll start to think that you're crazy. Literally, you will start to think that you are crazy. So
trust me about that. I have many years of dealing with that. But let me say this as a little footnote of encouragement, and that's what keeps me going at times when you're feeling like that. That it's history dictates that it never was the masses of the people who got it. Okay, never everybody had it. You know what I mean? And understood. It was a few who made the decisions for the masses and directed the masses. So us few that understand a direction that we need to be going, that's why we have to collaborate and come together and show the masses where to go. Because most people are like sheeple. They just follow, this what we doing now? Or this what's going on now? Oh, Juneteenth now? Oh, it's all popping like that, Juneteenth? Okay. And then in the process, they learn something, you see. So you got to keep the energy going. So that's why I keep going,
Well, the themes, I'm just reading from the flyer that's printed and is available on the Instagram page for Sophii.Appsolutelii, and you spell that Sophii.Appsolutelii, Sophii.Appsolutelii. We're going to post that to the 360 Info Network page so you'll be able to see it. But the themes, healing through our stories, our sounds, through transparency, through our words, our creativity, through support, and a closeout celebration, those are some very meaningful themes. Quite an itinerary there, but I think if you participate, you will definitely walk away from something or walk away with something from that. It's unavoidable that you are not touched spiritually, physically, mentally, or some kind of way with all of the things that are going on. We look forward to assisting you with this vision and carrying it out.
Oh, thank you guys so much. It's an honor to have y'all, just support. Seriously.
For real, and acknowledge, you know what I'm saying, and encouragement and everything else. You know what I'm saying? It really, truly is,
It's amazing. It's a blessing.
Appreciate that so much.
All right, Antonio, did you want to carry this further, or do you want to move to the next guest? I think we may have lost Antonio. Are you there?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay.
Just one more time, Sophie. Let them know how your contact point if they want to get with you and collapse a little further on and join our session in August. Who want to do some work and make this thing possible, so I can just go off into the sunset and know that the torch has been passed, is in good hands. Got some young folks with some energy and and vision. That'll be a beautiful thing. I could just go on and feel good.
Of course, yes.
We got you.
Yes. So basically, guys, if you're interested in coming out to the event, seeing some more events that we have on a consistent base, or just like Antonio said, August 22nd from 3 to 6, we're having the Juneteenth Coalition meeting. So if you're interested in any of those things, you can call or text. I am a texter at 347-731-0061. Once again, that's 347-731-0061. Or you can hit us on our Instagrams. I am at Sophie with 2 I's, SOPHII .APSOLUTELII. I know it's a tongue twister. And Eroc Beatz is EROC BAT with the Z. Okay, that's it.
All right. Eroc Beatz, Sophii.Appsolutelii, a movement by themselves. 2 folks, that's the whole movement. Well, we gotta shout out our brother Ross Chi as well. I know he's definitely there, and he's leading the charge for meditation and inner hard work, because that inner hard work pays off. Thanks for joining us on 360 Info Network, and we look forward to collaborating with you in the coming week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Already. Okay. All right. Appreciate you.
All right. You're listening to 360 Info Network on AM 1490 WERE with Antonio and yours truly, Vince Robinson. And we are pleased to welcome to the airwaves Rofeh Mocksheriel Yehudah. He wears so many hats, I really don't know where to start, but I think Brother Antonio had a reason for having him on the show today. So I think we're going to deal with things of a cosmic nature. Brother Yehudah, welcome to 360 Info Network.
I'm honored. Thank you.
All right, my brother. Now, this brother, has been 50 years been studying this and has lived out the country in several places and just a really deep brother. So I had to slow him up a little bit. I said, brother, you be deep, man. And sometimes, folks may not connect with you. I'm including myself. I had to, he said something like, okay. He said, what? Nah, hold on. He done went to something else. I'm still resonating back. Okay, what was that? How did he say that? So I said, okay. I said, what we going to do, bro? I say, what we're going to do is, give our listeners, a little spoon feed them a little bit on why it is necessary. Because, see, I sometimes when we talk about this subject, I go back to biblically, because some of us can understand that, that reads the Bible. And it talks about the firmaments in the heavens would be for signs. Listen to what I say, y'all. Signs and for symbols and for days and for years. He said signs first. So, a lot of religious institutions get all spooky when you start talking about the cosmos, and most of us neglect the cosmos, and therefore how you going to see the signs and navigate yourself on this planet if you negate that? See, they don't got us spooky because that was our stuff, and that's how we did things But again, the system over here in the West has cut that out, and and that may be a reason why some of why we're lost to a certain degree. So I want to talk a little bit about why we need to be paying attention and how our indigenous folks use it, and most indigenous people across the planet. It's a part of their culture ingrained into them, and this is what they do. So why are we so disconnected, and why, I already kind of answered myself, because we've been taken away from, why we need to be paying attention, and sometimes how it dictates policy on the planet. Brother Mocksheriel, break it down to us and why we should be connected and paying attention.
Okay. I'm going to try my best, okay, to make this understandable. It's a verse that says that it would become, at the end times, it would become so clear that even a fool could not err, right? So, folks giving all praises to the Most High. I would like to extend from my heart my utmost respect for what you're doing and your history, having known you, having known your brother, being very close to him, Scholar, and your other brother, Scholar. I'd like to pick up where you started in Bereshit. First of all, we've got to understand that actually having, let's say, touched upon the fact of, let's take Napoleon, for example. He took more scientists than he did soldiers to discover and break the seals on ancient Kemet, called Egypt. And he was really frustrated by the fact that he was not able to penetrate the high level of technology, science, cosmology, etc. So he shot the noses off. He was so funny. He shot the noses off the various Sphinx and different of the architecture representing things that he knew nothing of. So let's start from the fact that we have purposely been deprived of this particular knowledge. Call it what you will, cosmos, star science, whatever. But from the first book, for those that read the scriptures, the book is not really in the beginning, called Genesis. It's actually Bereshit, and it means in a beginning. So this is not, from the very start of reading that book, we'd have to take another spin on this, and I'm so thankful, appreciative for the Most High allowing me to live outside of Chicago and other places where I've been, all over England, South Africa even, etc., and live in the desert. And there I was able to very humbly, with hardly anything, particularly a 117-day juice fast, I was able to understand certain things. I mean, it was as if my mind was clear to understand certain things. So the sun, for example, where you all are right now, does anyone know that Cleveland is under the sign of Gemini? That the sun and the moon, when Cleveland was established, is under Gemini, which has to do with the very communication that we're doing now, that the sun right now is in the so-called sign of Gemini, which had to be renamed for our sake. But there's a correlation that escapes us, and we satisfied with it. I mean, they say that myths are created for people who can't really, digest the reality of certain things that are very high. I mean, there are actually things that are high. There are things that are mundane that you can easily understand, be comfortable with. But there are certain things you have to understand by fasting, meditation, a whole nother reduction of the ego and getting into these things that were preserved, because if you do read the scriptures, you would know that in the book of Daniel, it said that the book would be closed and sealed until the time of the end. So we were so high. Remember, we weren't allowed as a people to read, certainly not to write. Why? Because the fear of us returning to when we were kings and royalty and masters, that's still going on right now. So yes, what is called astrology is actually a Greek name given to us, and we go around. I mean, those that even most Christians I know, I've come through the church now. Most Christians I know will identify with the fact that they are Aries or Taurus or whatever on the.
That's right.
Download. They'll do that, but then when it comes to standing up for it or even investigating it, they don't go that far. So what I represent is one of us that went through the whole Baptist, the whole Bible Belt, all of that. My grandmother sent me to the best Catholic school in Chicago. I've had the opportunity to be with Islam. I hosted Farrakhan, as a matter of fact, in Israel. So I've had an opportunity, and Rosh Stram, when the Kemetic and the Arsava set was just being birthed. So I was set in this particular path and given the mission that I've got. It's not the same. And I had to realize that something was being given to me that I would have to fight to maintain its uniqueness. But that's the same way that I was given the insight or the skills to make jewelry. I don't make jewelry like anybody else. I don't copy other people's styles. And even that was given to me. You say you don't have to. Do this. Stay in harmony with who you are and your purpose and the skills and tools and angels and all of that, portals that open, etc. So I'm just saying, you in Cleveland right now are in sync. Right now, as we are talking, you're in sync with where planetary bodies that open up your mentality, your data processing skills, is available right now. Available for what? Available to put an end to this madness and get dominion again. And remember who we are, right? Connect with our ancestors right now, okay? If we can go to the cosmos just for a few, right now.
Yes, sir.
The planet Mars that has waged war against our people since the Greco-Roman dominion, right now is sitting at 0 degrees, what is called Leo. Of course, we have to get rid of that. It's not Leo. It's Rofeh Yehudah, if you will, to use an ancient term, which means the ingatherers, the lions of the tribe of Judah, if you use that even. But I'm saying right now is a birthing. Mars is no longer, it's up for grabs right now. Right now, we can take our dominion back. Want a reference? Study Nostradamus, 16th century. Study him with his diagnosis or his premonition prophecy that when Saturn would go into retrograde and come back, which it is right now. Saturn on the 23rd of May went into retrograde in Aquarius. What is Aquarius? Aquarius is symbolized by the water bearer. He who pours out knowledge, not water. He's pouring out knowledge, information. Saturn would return, and dominion would be given back to black nations. That's going on right now. Mercury in retrograde. There are a lot of things that go on in the heavens that we don't have access to. We don't give credit to. So when we're trying to align ourselves, why Cleveland is in the position as it is, why it's called the mistake on the lake and all these other things. But Garvey tells us, Marcus Garvey, where Mars, the planet so-called Mars, that's where Marcus Garvey, that's where it was when he said, look for me in the whirlwind. You got to understand there's a relativity between Marcus Garvey, Haile Selassie, and Ralph Bunche. All of them up under Cancer Leo. That's where Mars is right now. I see in the vision, I stayed up all night thinking about this. In the vision, our ancestral grandmothers is whooping Mars' ass like a little child and telling them, no, you don't do that. It's not about battling with that. It's learning, it's using intellect, consciousness, morality. It's a whole other paradigm shifting that probably our people are not even aware of. So how does that affect human behavior? More accidents, right? Because there was a fire sign. Ego blowed up. It doesn't have to be. But if you're not in the fifth dimensional and beyond, realm of consciousness, then you're going to be taking things as a norm and reacting like that. 5 or 6 accidents between downtown Atlanta and coming less than 30 minutes away where I stay. Stop me right now and tell me before I go any further or higher or whatever, deeper. Mm-hmm. Tell me right now, is that palatable? Does that make any sense? It does. It does. And making that connection and understanding that's been our way for so long, and people use that because I kind of connected to, brother, if I will, of when we use the phrase, it's the unseen that's ruling the scene. And so it's almost like, when I made the statement, like the cosmos is kind of like almost dictating, policy and things that are taking place on this planet. And lastly, before you came on too, I was thinking about this relationship. If we call the creator, how does the creator orchestrate the things that take place on the planet? We talk about things and energy and alignments. Well, the creator possibly used the cosmos itself to create some type of energy, which turns into some type of consciousness that dictates how things move and operate. So there's the line on how that all connects. In my view, this is how I was looking at it. You can speak on that, brother. I don't know if I was just tripping or not. No, you're not tripping. And I mean, hey, actually, is it a sin to trip? You know what I'm saying? Is it a sin to stretch our imaginations again back to beyond what we've been taught, everything that we've been taught, right? Is that a sin? Okay. Perhaps.
Excuse the interruption, but we're obligated to take a break. You're listening to 360 Info Network on AM 1490 WERE. Our guest is Rofeh Mocksheriel Yehudah, and we'll be right back after these messages. We're back, 360 Info Network, and our guest is Rofeh Mocksheriel Yehudah, and we are talking all things cosmic. So I apologize for having to interrupt, but we had to go to the break. Could you please resume your thought?
Okay. I left, my last thought was referring to the fact of how approaching even scripture from another, let's say, pre-colonializing, even the neo-colonial, and freeing our minds right now, even though Mercury you referred to is, commonly known in retrograde, but it's in Aquarius. And see, Aquarius, again, is the water bearer. It's a time for us to circulate and, take on a whole nother approach to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and applying it. Now, as you said, the invisible ruling, well, there's a counterforce to how the Creator lifts us up and teaches us certain things through nature, through the cosmos, through the sun, blood moons, etc., right? The moon going through all these different phases. But at the same time, there's an enemy that's being perpetrated and shot at us. What is that? An invisible virus. Show me the virus. Let's stand up and talk to me. I'm the virus, and I came here to take you out. We are actually suffering from a lack of knowledge on that level. And we spooked out to the point where we will not dare, we're afraid, in a sense, to take on that and take a stance, and then you prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You tell me about Marcus Garvey's birthday, and there's no relativity, Haile Selassie, and Ralph Bunche. And Ralph Bunche being the first black man to win the Nobel Peace Prize. For what? What did he do? He set it in motion for Israel to become a state, standing in front of the UN. We don't know our history, so okay, we refuse the cosmos, and then we don't deal and connect the dots with our history and where we are as a people right now, in confusion. You got people over here saying they're gonna throw the black Hebrews, the original Hebrews, excuse that, out of Israel. Where's our churches now? Our churches spend billions of dollars to Israel. Black churches. Now they say they're going. Martin Luther King said, "We as a people are going to get to the promised land." Well, we there. 1967. That's an equation. I got a whole audio book about that. So look, let's open our hearts. Let's open our hearts and at least listen to a voice crying out. I'm crying out, man.
Yeah.
I done put 50 years of my life into this.
You know, brother. That's
playing with this.
You know, brother, I say, and if you're on this journey and if you study in history and our spirituality, which we don't talk about, because you listen to the Discovery and they talk about Egypt, they never talk about the philosophy and the spirituality. Now they show the monuments and the reliefs and talk about the antiquity and all that kind of stuff, but they never talk about the spirituality and the philosophy of Ma'at and the 42 Naked Confessions. But biblically, because we strange, we
coming 4 or 5 days, yeah.
Yeah, what we'll do, we'll understand, angels, as being some of our relatives and people we know, to watch over us. But when we talk about ancestors, it's like, oh Lord, So biblically, they talk about, and we always want to refer to as Revelations right now. It talked about going into the time frame of the water bearer, when Jesus was talking about, and so that was astrology right there. Saying we're going into this era, so it'd be right in our face.
He was talking about him being born even. Remember? They said that where is he? Because they saw stars in the heavens, right? That was just common knowledge. They knew that. Those were wise men. And they knew a new spirit was being born. But let me ask you this. Where are those spirits now? We don't have no prophets being born now? Are they all dead? They finished? We don't have no access to the higher realms? Our grandmas they done lost mother wit, all of that. Come on.
They got a point.
No, we are not alone, and our ancestors are closest to us now than they ever been, right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's beautiful. I think it's, I can say again, and the reason I, wanted you to come on, brother, because, a lot of things is going on the globe, and we need, all we can get to help us navigate through this. And I'm saying to those out there, don't negate it. If it was good for our ancestors, it's good for us. You know what I'm saying? And our ancestors are turning over in the grave and saying, look where you're at. Look what's going on right now. And you're catching H-E-double-L. So when you going to try me, the original folks, the beginning, the dark, before there was light, there was darkness. The begin, that's how the Creator put everything together. The key component to all living matter is carbon. And what color is carbon? Black. Okay? So the black is the beginning, you know what I'm saying? So our ancestors say, when you going to try me? You'll try everything else. You get some of that juice or juju that Haiti used to kick Napoleon's behind. We need to be finding out what did he use,
Yeah. Toussaint L'Ouverture. Yeah.
Yes.
That turn. Yeah. The only thing though is, hey, watch out for betrayals. That's all. Because as we arise, hey, the sleeping giant, hey. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, no. I know Vince, you want to get in it, but I must say this, that we have to come together and understand what's going on too in this planet. In this country, because folks trying to get their country back. They're in a revolution, and black folks don't know that we in a revolution. So you better be paying attention and grasping for any and everything that you can to pull yourself together in your strength.
Yeah, well, again, you said it. The sun, the moon, and the stars were given to us to be for signs and seasons, right? And days and months. So we could calibrate these things. It's simple as that. Why not?
I agree, my brother. Again, I think we're approaching that time. Sure, I know Vince want to get a few announcements out, but again, brother, I appreciate you. I'm calling you our resident cosmetologist. And
cosmologist.
Cosmologist, I'm sorry. Yeah, cosmologist and
Celestial science work too.
Yeah,
Celestial scientist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll work just as well, brother. It's so. And I was talking to Dr. Smalls one time, and he just said, when we talk about being priests, we just think about on the religious, spiritual thing, but it's a priest of literature, preach of this, preach of that. So
thank you.
That's what you are, brother. A priest that gives out that knowledge in that particular realm. So we can use that word as well.
Dr. Smalls, that's my man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Vince, take us on out.
Okay.
And Brother Mocksheriel, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, man.
All right. So we'd like to invite the celestial scientists to join us on StreamYard following this broadcast. The broadcast is scheduled to go live at 12:10. So we got about 10 minutes between noon and 10 to get our act together so we can get on and continue this conversation. Thanks for joining us on 360 Info Network. Also, would just like the listening audience to know that Larchmere Arts is reopening. We are going to have an event that will feature Uplift and the brother and sister that you heard on the air earlier today. That's going to be on Friday. But on Saturday night, we're going to do a Juneteenth celebration of our own. We're going to feature J.T. Lynch from Horns and Things, Stephen E. Boyd of the Hugh People Vocal Ensemble, my drummer, Rashawn Blake, and the original jazz poet Vince Robinson. We will be there from 7 to 10 p.m. We're going to do a couple of sets, and you are welcome to join us. Cash App THA Soul Poet, hashtag THA Soul Poet to get your reservations, and we'll also offer a live stream to those of you who might want to attend virtually. So that's coming up next Saturday, Juneteenth, at Larchmere Arts. We thank our guests for joining us today on 360 Info Network, and we thank you for listening. Until then, know yourself, love yourself, be yourself, and make today your best day. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.